not recording. I'm Heather. This is my podcast. I identify as a podcast. My host and my guest today. My host today, because I'm always the center of attention. But my guest today is Aubrey Zevallos. Did I say it right?
Yeah, that's one of two pronunciations, and you did one of them.
Zevallos. I love it. It's the coolest last name ever.
Thanks.
So yeah, you are my guest on this podcast thing. Now back to whatever we were talking about.
Yeah, well, we were talking about confidence and how you were saying that confidence is like the end game or like the end goal. And it's a huge factor for sure. I was just thinking of like, for me, I'm setting my bar lower because I don't think I'm ever going to reach that like high bar of like confidence, the combination of like confidence, delivery, timing, like audience rapport. I don't think I'm ever going to get there. But I've seen comics who are super funny, and their timing is great and their delivery is fine, but they are like clearly awkward and nervous. And so like that's my goal, is like it's okay if people like know that I'm awkward, but I just gotta like push through it. I don't need to seem confident as long as I can like get it out.
I mean, yeah, that's good to have like examples like that. I definitely have been gravitating toward comics lately who like have what I want, and are like, so part of that is like I'm gravitating toward comics who are super confident right now with like what I'm studying. But like some of my favorite comics aren't giving off big loud energy. In fact, most of my favorite comics don't give off loud energy. They just give off they serve it kind of quietly and subtly. And
who are your favorite comics?
Well, right now my favorite comic of all time is Hannah Gadsby.
Oh, nice.
I just like saw it in the net for like the first time ever, like a month ago or so, and it like completely changed the way that I saw what my goals were as a comic, honestly. Because I had bought into just the concept of like it just needs to be funny, and that's it, right? And cut everything else off that isn't funny. And so to see Gadsby like purposely ruin jokes was like, to me, captivating. And that's the important thing, is I wasn't laughing the whole time, but I was captivated, and I was feeling like lots of different emotions besides just laughter. You know, she talks about being the victim of a hate crime, and I'm listening to her yelling about being the victim of a hate crime, and it's giving me catharsis for the hate crime that I had to live through, because it's like, and it also just inspired me, and it made me think like, this is what I want to be doing. It's more than just making a joke. Like,
yeah, you said captivating, and I think that's a key word to take it to like a totally different type of person. But Mitch Hedberg is someone who is captivating and totally awkward and nervous. He was not confident. Like he always wore sunglasses because he didn't even want people to see his eyes. He was like slumped over, but he was fucking hilarious. So it's ultimately, it comes out more to be captivating, which I think comes from being yourself. So if you're trying to be someone else up there, that's kind of where you're not going to be captivating, because the audience is going to know that there's not a genuine thing there.
You got to speak from where you're at, right? I think that's, yeah, if you're not like, if that's not who you are, if that's not your baseline, is to be all peppy or like, or whatever it is, then it's not going to work for you. I think that what's going to work for you is finding where you're at normally, right? And like honing in on who that person is, and like honing in on what that person's, you know, weaknesses are, on like what your blind spot is and what your flaws are, and what people think that you're like too much of and not enough of, and stuff like that. And so that's,
yeah, And that's a key to better comedy, is when you're honing in on your own weak spots and not honing in on like the little guy's weak spots. Like, because that's easy to like hone in on, you know, punching down. It's like easy to hone in on those weak spots. But I think the superior comedy is introspective, like able to find those things about yourself and share them with other people.
Yeah, I think that that's the best comedy is when it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of even like um uh punching down jokes that like um that work as jokes, right? But yeah, like when I think about like my favorite comics like Mitch Hedberg or Dimitri Martin are just people who have like really clever word plays or clever misunderstandings of things, you know, or just looking at things in an oversimplified way, you know what I mean? And and I really like that kind of stuff. But I don't remember they never like punched. I mean, so Chris Rock punched down, right? Like, and I
Mhm.
remember my first ever like PC reaction to a comic was Chris Rock doing his joke about crazy kids used to ride in a different bus. And the only thing that made me like not laughing is just the fact that he was conflating learning disabilities with school shooters. And
Mm.
just me like being, I don't know, 12 or something and watching that, just real like just knowing that he's like wrong about who these people are made it just not funny anymore, you know what I mean? And so I couldn't like be on board with that particular joke. um and yeah, and I think so like I've never really I don't know, I guess like, you know, jokes that make light of certain people's struggles, etc. um fine to an extent, but also just like well, they're not fine to an extent. I'm just I forgot what I was actually going to say because I'm hung up. Um, but yeah, like jokes at other people's expense are like, I don't know, not funny. I can't remember.
Yeah. The way that I view it is so there's like jokes that are funny and there's jokes that make people laugh, and both of those can be low hanging fruit. So like an easy joke to tell is something that like the average comedian will right away be like, oh, there's a joke to tell, and like what the situation that just happened, there's a joke right there, that they will pick up on, and that just the average person will also pick up on, and that's low hanging fruit, because the fact that the average person also can see the joke there and the comedian can see the joke there, when the comedian tells that joke, the average person is going to laugh extra hard because they're going to be like, that's what I was thinking in my head. They didn't think of it in like the well crafted way that the comic hopefully distributes the joke, but that the fact that they can like relate to it and be like, oh, that's what I was thinking, makes them laugh even harder. And so that's what I see as like low hanging fruit. And a lot of that low hanging fruit, because we are in a racist, homophobic, misogynistic society, it tends to be those in that vein. Like we tend to veer towards that because we love to like other people. So the low hanging fruit is going to be like, look at that guy over there. And it takes more effort to like climb a little higher on the tree.
Yeah. So now I remember what I was gonna say. It was that yeah, it depends on if it's true or not, right? And a lot of times when you're making fun of another person or someone's experiences that you haven't had yourself, then you are not gonna. It's not gonna be funny to people who do know what those experiences are,
Yeah.
right? And like and so yeah, going back to that Chris Rock joke, it's like I don't have a learning disability or mental health issues or violent tendencies that I admit to in public, but I am like knowledgeable enough in it that it's just not funny to me what he's trying to do, right? And I think that there's
Even at age 12, you knew that.
well, I don't remember how old I was, but
Mm.
like there's other jokes that are like technically at other people's expense. Like there's trans jokes that cis people have told, but then they're actually true to the experience, and so then they're funny, right? And when they try and tell jokes that they're more off base and they're kind of guessing, it doesn't work, So that's kind of how I feel about. It's not necessarily punching down. Like there's this one cis guy who wrote. He's a comedian. He is the funniest trans joke I have ever heard, which was like, something about like, I know trans women are real because they leave me too, or something like that. I can't.
That's good.
But yeah, so that one was great and positive and not punching down, but it was like a joke about trans people, and I think that you can do that. I think you just like, if you don't know what you're talking about, you're gonna look like it on the stage these days,
From what you're saying, it sounds like, so like the safer bet, if you're gonna tell jokes about marginalized groups, you should be speaking to your experience and not to like your opinion or your perception. Does that sound accurate?
I think that the best thing to do is to ask the groups and see if it's funny, and if it speaks to something true, if it's being put in a true way,
Yeah. Well,
Not based
allegedly,
off of your assumptions or stereotypes or just shit that you don't know. And a
yeah.
lot of jokes just are based on, like, a lot of jokes at roast battles are just based off of stereotypes, because you're just going off of what you can see in front of you. This person is clearly of this ethnicity, so I can do all of these jokes about that ethnicity, which are almost all based on stereotypes, right? And not all of them though, but yeah, so that's like, it's hard to tell it's hard, like, you have to like do your research, or else it's just not going to land with those people. Maybe that's fine with you if you just want to make the majority of audiences laugh at like how it seems to the majority of people to like live side by side, marginalized people. You can make those jokes and maybe get some laughs, probably shock value kind of laughs, like, oh, I can't believe he said that, but yeah, or you can do jokes that get everybody laughing, which I think is like what the goal should be. And that's like my opinion. It's not like what jokes you can and can't tell, but what's funny to me is like things that are true, right? And if it's like true to you and your experience is like limited and ignorant, then yeah, it won't work.
Yeah. And I imagine that, like, speaking to that, if you can make people outside of your audience laugh, I feel like that's a good thing. It could, because if you've been telling these same kind of jokes all along that are kind of playing to those stereotypes, and so like, I'm gonna kill with this because my audience loves this shit. But if you can tell a joke that's kind of higher level, where you've spoken to the population that you're talking about, and then make people outside of this little circle that you've gathered who are like maybe diehard fans or whatever, but actually make other people laugh, you can not only grow your audience and just in general be a superior, longer lasting comic, at least in an ideal world.
Well, my goal is to make everybody laugh too. Like, my goal is to have a target audience. It's just, oh, do you like jokes? Come aboard. Like, the train I'm trying to pilot here. So let's get in. We just been going off on this tangent here. Is it a tangent or is it the whole point? Let's just talk about comedy. We don't need to have podcasts. Don't need themes. This is what I was trying to tell my friend. You just want to put something on when they're trying to fall asleep, and that's all it's for. And you have like a topic that sounds interesting, but you don't actually need to go into it. You know what I mean? So my topic is, it's a transgender Q&A. My hand looks weird in front of it. And so it's like, because people don't know about trans people, they're afraid to ask trans people, they don't want to offend anybody. So what I do is I have this Q&A session where I say, like, no one here is going to get offended. No one's going to take it personally. You can ask anything you want, And so if you're down with that, we get started on some questions, you know. Um, you down with that?
Yes, I'm taking notes so that I won't forget what I'm asking.
Okay, so just to start off, what kind of I think I'm the one asking questions. So what kind of genitals do you have?
What kind?
Yeah, what are they?
A vagina. Is that the genital?
That
I
is
may have
that is the genitals.
Okay, I may have skipped that class in high school. Are boobs a genital?
Were you allowed to take that class, and were you pulled out of it?
So I did not go to high school very much. Like I was enrolled, but I skipped a lot of days.
Oh, okay.
Are
Well,
boobs genitals though?
you would have known what a genital is if you had gone to high school. Better stay in school, kids.
I'm the example.
Stay in school. She doesn't even know what a genital is.
What's a genital?
I don't know what a genital is. This is just what it first of all, you just say it like it's plural, but you're kind of just like vaguely referring to like a bunch of stuff that I don't know. Like your question, are boobs genitals? I have no idea.
Me neither.
It has the word gene in there. Maybe it's about passing along genetic material. Maybe.
Yeah, because if that is it, so I mean I'm a psychology person. I have a degree in psychology. I don't know what the word for that is. And we learn about
Fast food server is the word for that.
What is the word?
Fast food server.
Oh yeah, I'm a fast food server, and in in that we learn the different hormones that are released during the in utero process of developing a baby that cause different organs to develop. So like I know that shit, but I guess I missed, like, there wasn't really the word genital in that whole thing. Like I learned all the hormones and stuff, and like, oh, this creates the testes, and this creates the penis, and this creates the ovaries and the uterus, but I don't know like which of those items was the genitals. It just goes to show you should have a thorough education, not a specific education.
Okay. So do you have a penis or vagina? Let's just cut to the chase here.
Vagina.
Vagina. All right. I'm going to write that one down.
Write it down.
Now, how do you like identify yourself?
So like, do you want to like get into this? Can we get into it?
I am asking this question.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hesitating because I'm like, what am I getting into?
No, I'm just like I've been thinking about it a lot, like for a while. About whether I want to identify as non-binary or as a woman. And the reason for that is the complicated history that I have with being a girl and being a woman. And the reason that I haven't been like, yeah, I'm non-binary, like the main reason that I haven't just been like, no, I'm non-binary, is because I felt like I had to like fight to be recognized as a woman since I was, or recognized as female since I was little, because I didn't have like typical femme interests. Like I didn't like dolls, I didn't like Barbies, I didn't like pink, I didn't like dresses and all that like stuff that is supposed to be that you like if you're a girl. So I felt like I was always fighting like, no, I'm a girl. So that makes me want to keep saying like, no, I'm a woman, fuck you, I'm a fucking woman, I don't have to like all that shit to be a woman. But at the same time, I've never really super thought of myself as like girl or boy. Like when I think of myself in the third person, I'm not really thinking of like she or he. So that's sort of like a journey that I'm still on. But I would say in general, I'm still telling people she, her pronouns because fuck you, I'm a woman. So that's my answer.
I relate to that. Actually, I also struggle to feel like I'm woman enough. And sometimes I ask myself, am I like actually a trans woman or am I more non-binary? Because I like my masculine side as well. Um, and I guess for me, it's like because I have to like almost, I feel like struggle to be recognized as a woman as well, like in a different way, where it's like, yeah, let's say, you know, like they say you're not woman enough because you don't do the feminine things. And with me, they'll say like you can never be a woman because being a woman just means having a vagina or not, or having a uterus or not. Um, and so like I feel that way too of like maybe I should identify as non like I did for a while before I started on hormone therapy and stuff. I had they them pronouns, but I didn't tell anyone. I wasn't like you misgendered me. Like I never did that until I started the medical transition. And then things changed because then I was like, wow, I'm really doing this. And then I also like met more people in the trans non-binary community and like understood experiences better, and then like had the confidence to say what mine were, right? But before that I just kind of went along with it, with like what it is, and like came out as non-binary to myself, or gender fluid, gender queer, whatever, but didn't like, and I kind of like wore girly jeans and painted my nails, but that was like all I was really exploring, and I just felt like trapped in in this manhood, like in being seen as a man. And it wasn't until I was able to make this big leap and be seen as a woman that now I feel comfortable like with my masculinity again, because it's not clocking me. It's not like, well, I guess I do get clocked a little bit, but it's not, yeah, it's not making people treat me a certain way anymore, you know? Um, so yeah, I definitely relate. And I think that I honestly know a lot of people, like women who have a similar experience as yours, where it's like, they don't necessarily identify as a woman, or they don't feel particularly feminine or whatever. Um, and they kind of like see themselves as non-binary, or see themselves without labels, you know, which is I think what everyone should be striving to do. But at the same time, it's like they're not they don't feel the need to change their name or make any other sorts of big changes or cause a lot of commotion about it. They don't even necessarily, a lot of them don't even like want people knowing, like, let alone just that they're not telling people, but even just they don't want their family knowing that they're like non-binary, or whatever. So yeah, it's really common actually, and I didn't know that until I transitioned and everyone was like coming out to me and talking about their own issues with gender, because they're like, oh, I wondered about gender too. um, but it also changes because I kind of assumed you were cis, um, and those are like what a lot of my questions are based off of. It's not even necessarily that I assumed you were cis, it's just that um, the questions I made were like made to put a cis person in those shoes for a second. You know what I mean? So that's what I've done
Yeah.
with my other interviews, and it kind of
Yeah.
changes things now to be talking to someone who's a little bit more non-binary, or just like gender non-conforming or whatever. You know?
I mean, I'm pretty cis because, like, yeah, I mean, and I'm cis passing mostly. I mean, I've been misgendered for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still pretty cis. I'm like, I don't know. It's complicated. I'm hesitant to even say that, like, I don't know. It's complicated.
Um, right on. So the next question
Hmm.
here is, what's your real name?
My real name is Aubrey. My last name is not Zevallos or Zevallos, but I will not say it on the internet.
Okay. If it's it's fine if it's too personal. We don't have to do super personal questions. Have you ever thought about getting the surgery?
The surgery. No.
Have you ever gotten any surgeries?
Uh,
Is this too
wisdom teeth.
personal? Okay.
Wisdom teeth.
Okay. Um, I got my wisdom teeth removed as well. So
Nice.
it's similarities.
Yeah.
And yeah. Um, so when did you first begin, or when did you know you were different? When did you first
Different.
know you were different?
It's like it's like a callback to my earlier thing where like people wanted me to be into these certain things and I wasn't into them and therefore I wasn't a girl. So about age 3?
Age 3.
Yeah.
You knew you were different longer than me.
Dang. It was such an easier thing for me because it's just, yeah, it was like, fuck you, I'm a girl. And they're like, all right, well, you have a vagina. I guess that's right, or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was different until Full Moon came out and I turned into a wolf, and I was like,
Was that when you hit puberty?
no, that was after I got bit by a werewolf.
Right. What age was that?
His name was Jacob the wolf.
Team Jacob.
It was after. Oh, was that Team Jacob? Yeah, it was after. I was thinking of my friend Jacob. He has a beard, so it was um, it was after puberty was when I found out that I was a werewolf. Yeah, I'm just making. This isn't true.
Are you sure?
I'm just like finding reasons to ask you horrible questions.
When was the first time I ripped someone's throat out?
I just want to say you're so brave. Thoughts? Yeah. Anything to say to that?
All women, especially women of color, are brave. Just by being alive. Just by surviving past age 18.
Wow. Really knocked that one out of the park. I'm blown. That's the best answer I've ever gotten to that question. All women are brave, especially color. In America, holy shit, you gotta be brave.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to ask you something that's too personal, you know? Like, I feel like if you're not ready to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it. But what's your deepest, darkest secret?
I feel like I'm not a super secrets person.
Deepest, darkest, super deep secret.
Do you want to like select a category? Is there a category?
What are you most afraid of in the whole world?
Abandonment.
Ooh, me too. And meaninglessness, which is what I talked to my last guest about. So we don't have to, that one got depressing, especially like I was hungover, so my brains weren't forming complete sentences. And as the host, you can't you gotta like lead discussion. I can't just be like, yeah, like waiting to leave. Like it was like a classroom. That episode is gonna be kind of I'm not gonna advertise that one. It's gonna
Can I say one thought about meaninglessness? Last week, I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked at my wall and I had this like it was like a voice speaking out in my room that just told me, like, your whole life is meaningless and everything you're doing doesn't really matter in the scope of the universe. And instead of being like, oh my God, I was like, oh, that's a relief. I was like, relief.
It's kind of
And I
a
went back to sleep.
combination, though. It's like both, right? Because on the one hand, it's like, oh, good. And then on the other hand, it's like, oh, okay. All right. Fuck it.
Yeah. I don't have to stress so much.
I've definitely had that realization. Okay. So those are all my questions for you. When did you first start not questioning your gender identity? Well, I think you did question it, so that's more for people who have not ever questioned it. Do you have any questions you would like to ask me? I promise I won't hold anything back. I'm an open book. I'll be completely honest. Nothing, you won't offend me with anything that you say. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Go.
I have 3 questions. Wait, okay, I have 4 questions. My other 3 are related to the theme of the podcast. My first question is, can you tell me more about the plane behind you?
It's a helicopter. I shot it down with a fireball.
Oh, you shot it down with a fireball. Why? I assume they had it coming.
I was shocked to notice that I had magical powers. And my friend, Chet, didn't believe that I had them. And I could have just hit, I guess, a sign. But there happened to be a very annoying helicopter in the air. And I think it yelled something transphobic. I couldn't make it out. That's the problem with microaggressions. I'm like, was that transphobic? I couldn't really hear, you know. So I shot it with a fireball just to be sure. I like the glare off my glasses as I say that.
Ting! A little like anime sound effect.
So that's okay. So have you ever heard the old joke, I identify as an attack helicopter? It's the most hilarious joke.
Oh, it was like a meme, wasn't it?
It was a meme. It's a joke from like 2000, maybe 1999-ish.
Dang.
And they still use that joke. The detractors, if you will, the transphobic community, people, you know, creatures, they still have that same I identify. I heard that like a month ago. Someone was like, I identify as an attack helicopter. And I just told them, like, then you should shut the fuck up because attack helicopters can't talk. And
yeah.
he laughed. Like, I told him a joke and I was just waiting for him. That was also something that helicopters don't do. So I'm just waiting for him to do anything that might alleviate his own not being a helicopter dysphoria, you know. I don't. So yeah.
If that's not already a bit, you got to make that a bit.
So that's where the name and the background comes from.
Ah, gotcha.
And then the whole subtitle of this podcast is featuring a second joke, because that's like, this is not a funny joke, and it's all they got. And so I took it from them, made it my thing, and I am also going to include other jokes. So already did their one joke, and now here plus are more jokes even that I will now be speaking. Eventually, maybe not this episode, but eventually I'm gonna be funny, right? Like if you sit in front of a camera long enough, you'll forget it's there. You'll become like I was last night in the drunken video that I recorded.
The noodles and Jesus Christ.
The noodles and cheese sermon.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I did not realize that I turned into a Southern preacher when I'm not drunk. But
Heather turns into a Southern
preacher. The video the next day, and like woke up and looked at it, and I was like, I kind of like my makeup. You know, it looks good. But also, I'm just sitting there looking in the phone, going, "Blessed be the cheese and noodles," you know. Like,
Wait, did you do those edits while you were drunk? Because that's impressive.
no, I did those. I
Okay.
watched my entire 10-minute video, and I was like, I'm just gonna take out a couple of these little pieces of gold nugget right here, slap them together, send them to Aubrey.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, we can all only hope that the least that we become when we're hammered is a comedian preacher
Well, Southern.
making noodles. I'm sorry, Southern.
You're making cheesy noodles.
Cheesy noodles.
Noodles and cheese.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
they didn't look good. I don't remember them at all, by the way.
They look good to me.
Maybe they were. I don't remember at all.
They look cheesy.
I woke up the next day and I was getting ready to take my morning selfie and noticed there was a video sitting in my photos.
Oh God.
What is this?
Those mornings.
Yeah, no, I just like walked around. I had like one of those Aparna Nanchula moments, which talks about getting up from a nap. But for me, it's like waking up from a bender, walking around. Pizza crust. Like a detective, more pizza crust.
Yeah.
It's me, you know.
Picking up the fragments, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I answered one of your questions.
Okay. I have 3 more.
Okay. I will also be granting wishes at the end.
Oh, cool. How many?
Depends on how many you earn.
Oh, okay. So I've been earning them this whole time and I didn't know.
You have not earned any yet, no.
Shit. Okay. I had the potential to earn them and I haven't earned any.
You earn them in a very silly way. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
okay.
It's like you don't have to be a good person to get wishes.
Is it the opposite?
No, it's not. It's just random.
Okay.
We'll see if you do it or not, and then you'll get
wishes.
I can also channel the dead if you need.
Oh.
If you need to talk to anyone.
What if that was my wish?
This one's free because I can just do it.
Sweet. Okay, I have 3 questions.
Okay, question number 1.
Question number 1. I'm just
Zevallos of Sacramento, California. Davis, California.
Yeah. I identify more with Sacramento than Davis, but I'm in Davis.
I would too if I were physically located in Davis.
Yeah.
I identify as Orangevale. Like, no.
Okay, so I'll group these 2 together. I'll group 2 of the questions together. The first 2 are
not saying them.
What?
You're categorizing them, but you're not saying. You just like describe.
Yeah, I just like to drag it out as long as possible.
Should you color code them? Highlight.
Yeah.
Them, organize.
These ones are blue, and the other one's gonna be red.
Okay.
How do you personally? Because I feel like when you ask a trans person about
I can't really speak for all trans people.
Oh, okay, sorry. So how do all trans people feel about the terminology, so this is 2 of them, of saying like, hey, you guys, and also of using in a sentence like, hey, or no, sorry, not hey, of using in a sentence like, oh man, that was fucked up, or like, dude, what the fuck? How do you feel about the guys, dude, and man? I guess that was 3.
I feel like that was more of a yellow question than
okay.
Blue.
I'll re-highlight it.
Yeah, if you can make that one yellow.
Got it. Yellow.
Suiting. But I personally have no problem with any of those things because I'm super hot. Like I just, like you can call me whatever you want. It's not, plus I'm in California. So like being a trans person in Northern California, you get told I call everyone dude a lot because it's true. You just call everyone dude here. In general, it's a personal thing. Some trans people are sensitive. It's not just that I'm hot, it's also that I do roast battles. Like I inoculate myself to transphobia. Um, and so like I get called man and dude and stuff all the time, and it bothered me for a minute because I was always reading into it like, would you have called me this if you saw me as a woman, right? Like, would you have used that language, you know? And I could never tell if they would have done the same thing or not, depending on how they see me. And it drove me nuts because it's like, I don't want to be seen as a man. I want to be seen as a woman. And so it was difficult. But then once I saw myself as a woman and realized, like, okay, I basically am seen this way by society, uh, um, like, they're not really misgendering me, right? Like they might be calling me dude or something like that, even bro. But it's like I don't think people are doing who do that are misgendering me. Now that being said, the word itself, like context matters. So these same guys, you say, hey, well, do you fuck dudes? They'll be like, no. But that's a particular context. And what's up, dude, is a different context. And I call my female friends bruh. Like when I'm frustrated with them, I'm like, come on, bruh. Like that's just, I call things that I call technology that I'm upset with, I call it bruh. My phone doesn't work for a minute. I'm like, come on, bruh, move. Like, let's go, bruh, you know? And so, yeah, and so it's just a personal thing. And I did go through a stage before I was doing stand-up comedy, or before I was like confident in my womanhood, where I was much more sensitive to microaggressions in general and much more sensitive to just like, would they have treated me this way or called me this or et cetera, if they saw me as a woman, you know? And like that is part of that is like a personal thing where like I needed to have the confidence. And now people can straight up misgender me and it doesn't fuck with me because I just know it's probably more about them than me. To an extent. It's like, I don't know, a stranger could misgender me and I wouldn't care. But when friends do things like exclude me without even meaning to, like just showing me that they were thinking of their female friends and I didn't come to mind kind of thing, like that, those are like the little things that still hurt. But like, dude, guys, I don't really care. I try to say y'all. I fail at it all the time, but I try to. But yeah, it's not really for me. It's for other people who don't like you guys. And I'm not one of them. I'm pretty laid back. I've said a lot of horrible things in my life, like, so I feel like there's a lot of, I have a lot of empathy for mistake makers, as long as you can like be accountable to the fact that you made a boo-boo, you know, and it was not okay to say that, right? And that's like the thing where I kind of like would hope to have that given to me. And so I feel like I need to be able to give that to other people as well, like forgiveness for saying things that are ignorant or saying things that are exclusionary or like hurt people without even meaning to, you know, without realizing that you're doing something that is like making people feel othered, right? So that was my answer. That was kind of a purple answer to a yellow question, I feel like. How did you find the answer out of 5?
Oh, well, first of all, purple and yellow, I feel like are complementary, so they go together well. Out of 5, that was a 5 out of 5 answer.
Okay, good. It's my favorite rating is the good one.
The good one. Wait, would 4 out of 5 still be a good one, or is it like 5 out of 5 is the good one and that's it?
If you're not first, you're last.
Got it.
Still that's also a movie reference. So it's all I got. It's all I'm going off of today is just stealing from movies.
What movie?
That one is Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Boo. We don't like that in this house.
It's the greatest movie ever made.
Oh no. We're
I
fighting.
personally pray to baby Jesus before every meal. I like to imagine Jesus with a mullet because it was like very serious in the front, but he could party too.
Well, he was black, so I don't know if I've ever seen a black person with a mullet.
Now I am scratching my head and trying to. I have some Jerry curls from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of give off a mullet look.
Yeah, and that looked a lot better than
Little Richard had a mullet curled.
That's who I was picturing, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was solid, actually.
Well, you can't, like, it was Little Richard. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Tell Little Richard, like, you got a mullet? So all he can do, whatever he does, is just going to make you feel like you're not as cool as him. Like, he could have a fanny pack, and you could just be like, why don't I have a fanny pack?
Okay, yes, but mullets and fanny packs are actually cool right now, so it's because of Little Richard, maybe.
Is this the new generation that's...
Not really, because like Shahara Hyatt has been wearing a fanny pack for years.
But that's like her
She's
thing.
rocking it.
But that's like her, that's like she's got her thing.
But I've seen little Generation Z babies copying her. Like, I think they got it from Shahara. Wherever they live, I think they got it from her.
Well, good. I hope that everyone has fanny packs in 5 years.
I did buy one for the apocalypse. It wasn't supposed to be a fanny pack. It was supposed to be like a leather like side satchel, and that's the picture that it looked like when I ordered it. It was like a rugged, like slightly worn down side satchel, right? Cool. Like, it looked like you could put a gun in it if you wanted. Ooh. But I just wanted to put my phone in it, so that I wouldn't have to have a purse that I like have to set down if I find myself out in the public world. And they sent me this like knockoff Gucci looking fanny pack, but I hate returning things, so I've just been wearing it. So I have a fanny pack, kind of.
It's a side saddle.
I do wear it over my fanny, which is the British word for vagina.
Vagina.
Yeah.
Do you have a fanny or a bim bob? I don't know.
What's a bim bob?
I don't know, but I don't know what the British word for penis is, so...
I think it's just penis, based on the British TV series I'm watching right now. They say penis and they say cock a lot. Cock.
You go a Cockney accent, right?
Yeah.
Whole accent after penis.
Yeah.
Because it's what it sounds like is in your mouth when you use that accent. You know.
Hey.
That's it. There's the second joke.
We found it. Is that how I get my win?
Joke. All right. Thanks, everyone. This has been Heather Rogiers. This is my guest. I forgot her name. Wait.
What?
Did you have any more questions?
Yeah, I had one last question, but it might be a time-consuming one if you want to tie it up.
We can go as long as you want. If it's funny, I'm gonna play it all. And
okay.
I need a win after that last interview that I did.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be funny. I mean, you can make anything funny. So, yeah, my specific question, and we've talked about it a little bit. Wait, it's not Chris. It's Dave Chappelle, isn't it? Sorry, it's a special that I have not watched. There was a special.
Probably Dave Chappelle if we talked about it, because I've talked about his specials.
Yeah. So I have not watched the special, and the reason that I didn't watch it is because I saw my trans friends being upset about it, and I was like, I'm not going to even watch that. But then the discourse that I've seen about it is people, including some trans people, saying that it didn't upset them because he got the permission of the trans person that he was like dragging in the joke, which I haven't seen the joke, so like there's a lot of like unsaid stuff there. He got the permission, and allegedly the trans person, I'm sorry I don't know their name, I should have more background on it, but they allegedly thought it was funny and like thought the joke was funny, and this is a person who did kill themselves later, like after the special was released. So my question is just like, what do you have to personally think about like the idea that, well, he got permission and the person thought the individual thought it was funny. Does that make it like okay, or like what are your personal feelings on that?
Well, we can rule off the right ahead, like my trans friend was cool with it. Like that's dumb on its face. Look at Candace Owens protecting like, or victim blaming black people. Like dumb people can be part of your demographic too, like, or people can be part of your demographic who hurt your demographic, as a whole, and they do it for their own personal success or for their own personal, like, so they can separate themselves from that demographic, whatever they feel like they're doing it for. But that's like a thing that exists. So you can't go off of, now with Daphne, she wasn't like Buck Angel or a Blair White type. She wasn't one of those people who's like actually saying things that are like harmful to the trans community, and like but she was just trying to have a good night at a comedy show, and yeah, she wasn't offended. She found it fine. I probably would have been laughing too, because it's fucking Dave Chappelle. Like, I would have just been happy to be there. But like, yeah, I think it's weird when people use Daphne as an excuse to write off another trans person who's offended. And especially like his jokes weren't all about Daphne. She was just in the crowd one night when he was testing out some trans jokes, and she laughed. And so he told a story about that in like the DVD release, like the whatever, the more info tab of his special on Netflix. Now you can see him talking about meeting Daphne, and she was going to open for him. And I don't know if she ever did or not, but she was trying to be a comedian too. She was going to open for him, and she couldn't. Well, I don't know what happened that led to her suicide. She had a lot more going on in her life, a lot of other stresses besides just Dave Chappelle, right? Like, I don't think that was a contributing factor. It might have just added pressure, but to like succeed, it might have opened her up to more trolling and harassment and transphobia too, because most of the living out loud famous celebrity trans women I know, they can't check their notifications on Twitter if they're trying to have a good day. You know what I mean? Like, you can't read. I have to practice this myself, of just like not reading the comments on articles or on anything that comes up that has to do with trans people, because in the comments you're gonna see ignorant douchebags saying their word vomit stuff that they say, and it's just gonna, like, it could just put it like, it could be funny, I could just be like cringing, which is, I'm kind of just addicted to the cringe of like, look at what this person said and how dumb are they, but it also could just like ruin my day, and it could just so Daphne wasn't offended by Dave Chappelle. I was, but not like badly. It was just like what I was talking about earlier, just like his jokes, the general jokes, right? Like his jokes in general about trans people we're from a place of ignorance, from a place of like bad assumptions, the same assumptions that all cis people have about us, and just the same ignorance that all cis people have about trans non-binary people. And so for me, it just wasn't funny. It was just the Chris Rock thing again, talking about the crazy kids riding the short bus. It's just like a thing that it's just the joke isn't working because I know too much about what you're talking about and you just sound dumb, right? Like you just don't sound like you know, like you're not on the tip of the spear on this one, is what I'm saying, you know? And it just doesn't ring true. But the cis people watching, it rings true to them because it did accurately define or accurately kind of convey how cis people see trans people in the LGBT community and our relationship with each other, with the other LGBs, you know, and the tensions there. And some of that had me laughing and some of it didn't. So like he got me a little bit here and there, but some of it was just like only cis people were laughing because only cis people thought that way about trans people. Only straight people were laughing because only straight people thought that way about LGBTs. Um, um, and maybe the trans person was laughing at those jokes too. I don't know. I wasn't, you know. And so that's like a big inspiration to me. Was like, I want to tell trans jokes that everybody gets to laugh at, you know, that don't just either that don't force me to like play up my own stereotypes and like make fun of turn myself into a caricature, but also don't, you know, but are also like actually funny, and that and I'm not just like preaching either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which is all I want to do is be funny. I don't even know how to like communicate without trying to get to a joke. It's like you just laughed. I don't know why. What about it? It's like what am I doing that makes you laugh? Because I need to get it down to a science. I need to monetize this shit, and I need to deliver this on a mass-produced scale so that I can get out of my mom's house.
Yeah.
Did I somehow answer that question? I tried.
No, you totally answered it.
I really tried.
Yeah,
I love
no.
Dave Chappelle, by the way. I still do. I think that him saying like really ignorant thing, it wasn't just trans people he went after. Like he went after the whole Me Too movement in that special.
Dang.
And referred to himself as a victim blamer in regards to Me Too. And so like kind of outed himself as a piece of shit, but he also did it in a way that was like undeniably funny, which I just have to then be impressed by and admire, because like he didn't get you can't take the guy down, and I envy that. I want that, you know.
That worries me though. So again, I haven't seen the special, and I will say from like Louis C.K. and Chris D'Elia, or however you say his last name, these are two people who are hilarious and have also been outing themselves as shitty people for years, who have been openly telling people in their jokes, I'm a shitty person, I'm a pedophile, I take advantage of women, but they say it in this way that makes you laugh, like including me, who was like a huge fucking feminazi. I thought Louis C.K. was hilarious. I thought Chris D'Elia was hilarious. They fooled me and many other people for years. I will say Chris D'Elia, I always had a bad feeling about him, so I never like followed him on anything. But it does worry me when someone is able to be like, I'm a fucking asshole, and make it charming, like make it edible. That still worries me a bit.
Well, I think that the distinction I see is I think Dave Chappelle is a victim blamer. I think that he is against the Me Too movement, like that he does think that it's just cancel culture, and like I think these are his genuine opinions, and I think they're shitty opinions, and he can craft them in a way where his jokes are still funny, but when it comes down to like having to listen to his opinion, it gets worse and worse every year. We're just farther away that, on how we think about things. But yeah, he's not making jokes about being a pedophile. And Chris D'Elia was literally just joking about pedophilia a lot. And the jokes just, to me, they weren't funny in the beginning because it was just like, oh, it's funny because I'm obviously not that way, right? It's like where a lot of that humor is based off of is like, who would go on a comedy stage and just admit to being a pedophile? But I mean, it kind of worked for a minute. And then same with Louis C.K. Like he had some jokes that talked about his sexual indiscretions, and his just like inability to gauge appropriate conducts, and like his tendency to want to commit sexual harassment, and his tendency to like, actually it goes worse than that. I think he made a joke about like wanting to rape people. And so that, I think that that's something that I don't think I've ever, I don't know if I've heard Dave Chappelle make a joke like that. And I'm not even saying like I joke about murdering people just because I don't know what else to say on like a podcast where I'm ad-libbing or whatever. Someone puts me on their podcast and I talk about, yeah, you just got to do what you love. For me, and I'm trying to come up with a joke and all I got is, I love killing people, you know? Yeah. Now, granted, I've never murdered in my life that I'm willing to admit. You know, and if you disagree with me, find the body, you know? Yeah, it's gone. So like, like my whole humor is based off of being facetious, and it is literally based off of saying things only because they're not true, you know what I mean? And only because they're like clearly not true, and then I have my deadpan delivery, do I get that humor out of that, you know what I mean? But I think that there's a line. Yeah, I don't know. Dave Chappelle has jokes that probably aren't true, like some homeless person masturbating on him at a bus station, or threatening to jizz all over him. And it's like a ridiculous thing, but I don't know. Yeah, so, or he has a thing about, one of my favorite jokes by him is about waiting, I think at like a 7-Eleven, his friend went inside and there's like a baby on the corner and he's like worried about the baby. And he's like, what are you doing, baby? And the baby's like, I'm selling drugs, you know? And he's like, I don't know if that baby was as young as maybe it was like a 8-year-old kid or something. Yeah. It's probably based off of some kind of grain of truth. But yeah, you know, he does say a lot of things where it's like, it's funny because you don't expect it, and that's because it's not true. So I guess I don't know. I could have a better answer for that question, but yeah, I'm not trying to defend Dave Chappelle either. Like I'm saying, I think he is a piece of shit. I admire him as a comedian, and I don't think he's a rapist. Let me just, that's how I feel. Is he doesn't make the same kind of jokes, like playing off of his like weird inner desires and like talking about them, but as if they're in jest, you know what I mean? Yeah. And Louis C.K. would have, like, his whole shtick was like about repressed urges, right? Yeah. Like one of his major things he would go to.
That is a good point. They're definitely very different. I guess I was thinking more of like, so I never saw any of Chris D'Elia's jokes about being a pedophile, but I was thinking more of Louis' jokes about just being an asshole, just being like a bad dad and a bad husband, and not even sexual harassment. And then then after everything came out, I was like, oh no, like that wasn't an exaggeration. You are definitely an asshole. So that's just what came to mind. Yeah. Not that I think Dave Chappelle is.
I think Dave Chappelle is an asshole as well. I just don't think he's a predator. Yeah. And I could be wrong about that shit. I mean, maybe that's why he's unnecessarily like marketing himself like fighting against cancel culture, is because he knows he's gonna be canceled and he needs to get his audience ready for his.
Oh, is he doing that?
Switch, you know what?
Is he fighting? Is he like tweeting about cancel culture or something?
No, but it was the way that his last special was marketed, and this is the part that upset me more than anything. Like, tell all the trans jokes, victim blaming jokes that you want to, but like, stop pretending like cancel culture exists. That's all I want other comedians to do, is to recognize that all the comedians who were actually canceled were like committing crimes, and and no one has been canceled for saying something on a comedy stage, like, as a joke. Like, no single, I mean, people's jokes have not gotten them canceled. Like, things people have said on comedy stages, maybe they just didn't work, but it's not like you got canceled. It's like you had a bad set, you had a bad show.
Yeah.
You know, and the reason you had a bad show is because you got to work on your jokes more. Maybe if you're Seinfeld's age, find some Zoomers to do a workshop with. Like, I do workshop my jokes with people who do not get my sense of humor, and it's great because it helps me widen, like, understanding like how people are gonna hear my jokes, and understanding like they're not like gonna pick up on things, like, or whatever, and I need to like make those things more clear. You know what I mean? Because a lot of my jokes are in the subtlety, and part of that subtlety is just like my joking about my experiences as a transgender person, like playing off of people's assumptions about me. Like, wouldn't it be ridiculous if I really could turn men gay? And I forget that cis people don't realize that that's not a thing. But so when I joke about all the men I date turn out gay, the cis people in the room are just like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. But I've had to work on that, and now I say, you know, like, which I find it upsetting. They get real upset when they find out that they're gay. And I feel like kind of more easily understood that way. And otherwise they have to like know me to know I'm joking, you know, for some of those bits. But once once you understand the Heather, it all kind of comes together. But at first it just makes no sense.
Is that your slogan? Once you understand the Heather, then it all comes together?
No.
It rhymes.
That's not my slogan.
It could be.
No, it couldn't.
Okay.
It's hacky.
But it rhymes.
That's what made it hacky. You can't rhyme things anymore. It feels forced.
Yeah, it does feel
authentic and clumsy and accidental and real.
Gotcha. Like
real life. People want to feel like they're in a real conversation, not watching some stage play.
Yeah.
Okay? Rhyme.
That was really good.
Is that the line?
Yeah, you're supposed to say that was really good.
That was really good. You know, the last person on my podcast basically just called me hot the whole time. It was so perfect. That's all I want.
Is this a criticism of how I've been?
This is just all I need is someone to be. She just told me I had perfect genetics, which, okay, getting a little geneticist here. Like, let's put on.
You got those blue eyes, that blonde hair, that bone structure. Yeah.
Very Aryan, very German bone structure. Very white. I'm a very white person, which you are not as white as me.
Yeah, I'm half white, which is not as white.
Right. I'm full white.
Full white.
Full load of whites. You're just a half.
Some would say pure. I'm diluted.
Yeah, I am a pure blood.
I'm a mud blood.
You are a mud blood, which is not the worst, you know.
Mud and Cream.
Yeah, I think that those are really great books, and I just want to say thank you to Shia LaBeouf for writing.
God bless Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Okay, so I answered a question with another question. Do you have any more? Was that all of the questions?
That was it. That was all 5 of them.
They blew into 5 the whole time, and I felt like I answered 2 questions.
Well, 2 became like 4. 2 of them became 4, and then there was one other one. Is what happened. So 6.
No,
that's 5. I didn't finish high school.
I ask you. You're changing the number of questions in the past, by the way. And I am too hungover. I have no idea what's going on. So for all I know, maybe I did answer 6 questions.
I mean,
like it.
Honestly, you answered more than that. For any of the listeners and viewers to this, you answered a lot of questions that would be really valuable to people if they pay attention.
But they're not going to because it's not funny.
It was funny.
No,
you sprinkled it in there.
Stop. You're like, it's flattering of you to say that, but
not only did you sprinkle it in there, but you were hot the whole time.
Well, that I agree with. I do agree on my physical attractiveness, not my funniness. I don't think I'm
sex
You're very
sells.
funny. Sex does sell, but I'm not taking my clothes off. I've done 0 stripping. Plus, I don't know. I got weird looking titties, I got one good titty and one cross-eyed titty. One of my titties just
That's just endearing.
One of my titties it gives you the crazy look. You can't
the
tell
evil eye. Stink eye titty.
Yeah, the stink eye titty. That's what it is. The stink eye titty. It just gives people hi.
Always watching.
These don't sleep, keep their eyes open. I don't know what to do now. We can just, with free time, you can just play on your phone for the rest of the hour if you want. When did we start this conversation?
Probably. I think it's been an hour.
Okay. Then this has been a whole episode. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. High five. Wait, where's my camera? There we go. High five.
Oh, I got it. Wait.
It was delayed.
It was lag. No, it wasn't. It was. Here, let's try again.
Okay.
I'm going to do it this time. Wait, let's do it like this, because this is how it's going to record. Okay, and we'll put it.
Am I doing it right?
Yeah, you're doing it right.
Yeah. Do we get it?
Do it again.
Yeah. Wait, are we still going? Well, you're pulling me. Stop.
That was fun. It was like fun. A pantomime. Wait.
Yeah. No. Mime culture is back.
Mime culture is back. I'm in a glass case.
It looks more like a globe. Oh, there you go. Yeah, now it's flat. Now you're just doing Tai Chi.
Well, that's very healthy. It's good for your circulation to do Tai Chi, so maybe don't judge me so much because...
Oh, I'm not judging. I'm impressed.
I'm living my best life.
It shows.
I was judging you a little bit.
I know. You can tell I haven't been doing my Tai Chi.
For judging me. I'm not going to judge whether or not you do Tai Chi. I apologize, though, for judging you and assuming that you were judging me. I
forgive you for judging me for judging you.
Thank you for forgiving me. It was very important. Let's hug it out, I'm ready to cry. I just want to cry. How's your quarantine?
Is this hugging? It's good. It's what it is. It's good. I'm lucky.
Me too.
Me too. Hashtag.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I've had kind of a weird time, but I told you about it. I don't know. It's all kind of just working itself out little by little. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I told you I was like thinking about working at the gas station by my house.
Yeah. And then you heard about the bathroom situation.
Yeah, um, yeah. Someone came in trying to use the bathroom, and the guy was like, "You do not want to go in there."
It's not that you're not allowed, it's that you don't want to.
Right. He said, like, you can come in, but I'm telling you right now that you really hearing him, because I know that if I were to work there, my job would be to clean that up. And so just hearing him describe the horror show
Yeah.
of that bathroom, and he was very vague about it, but the vague subtleness is almost what scared me more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because it's like I'm imagining at this point blood and pus all over the walls. Like
I'm imagining 2 people died in there and then shit their pants with their pants down.
I'm imagining um, that a drug user overdosed to the point of making themselves shit their pants, and um, and then they so then there were drugs and poop.
I'm imagining someone ate a peanut butter jelly sandwich, but they were allergic to peanut butter, so they shat themselves to death.
Okay, that is a great imagination you got. I am imagining um, I'm imagining that someone ate the cheeseburger double jalapeno hot dog sitting on the grill
Uh-oh.
at 2:30 in the morning
Mm-mm.
after it was supposed to be taken off the grill, but it was the new guy and he forgot. And you also had some sushi,
Oh,
but get this, they did not keep the refrigeration station up to
no.
code.
Ugh.
So it was slightly warmer than meets food safety regulations, and thus the sushi was dangerous. And then he ate that, or she, or them, or them. There's don't laugh. Those are real.
No, I know.
Those are real. Those are people's real labels.
Yeah.
You can laugh. It's okay. I was trying to make a joke, so. But towards them, you know, they shot themselves not just to death. They shot, you know, they shot they shot shame on their family.
Their family was there the whole time.
They shot pure shame right onto their own mom's face. Heaping shame and diarrhea sushi leaking all over, and jalapeno cheeseburger hot dog leaking all over her face. Imagine that, okay? Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had the magic school bus today, where would you go?
Oh. Into I would shrink down and find the cure for COVID.
Okay, tell me about your Animal Crossing show.
Oh, my Animal Crossing show. It is a Zoom show meets Animal Crossing. So we're doing an island hopping tour. So we're going to go to a different person's island on every show and then do a regular Zoom show. But at the same time, comedians happen to be controlling their little characters on the little venue that the person who's hosting has created.
Okay, now say all that again, but backwards and faster.
Created has person. That's all I got.
All
I'm
right.
done.
Well, I think you earned one wish for that.
Yes! Wish time.
Okay, what is your wish? Ask for more wishes.
No. That's a trap. Have you seen the movies have you seen what happens to the people who wish for more wishes?
No, what happened?
I've bad stuff. Nothing good.
Give me an example.
I don't have memories in stories. I have memories in feelings only.
You have
And they're bad.
memories in feelings.
Yeah, I only remember things with emotion, not with words.
You only remember how, so you remember a bad feeling associated with wishing for more wishes.
Yeah.
Okay. It could have been anything though. Maybe, I have a bad feeling associated with wishes
Yeah.
overall in media. I feel like wishes get a bad rap because 99% of the time when you get granted a wish, there's like some hijinks in the works to
Very true.
to get you your just desserts, you know.
That's very true. It's usually nefarious, especially with like the. Are you doing this with a monkey paw?
No.
Okay.
They're
As
regular
long as.
human hands.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't use like dead animals for anything, you know.
I mean, it's not dead,
I
but
think it's
yeah.
very disrespectful to just like use like a another living being like their corpse.
I wonder where she
Their
went.
corpse? What are you doing? You're just using their corpse?
Yeah, I know you would never do that.
Smoke
Oh,
marijuana out of their this is a monkey skull pipe.
is it from Peru?
It is from Peru. This girl's from Peru right here. She was
Me
born.
too. Wait, no, I'm not.
But you're part Peruvian.
Hey, girl. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I've been to Peru. She's part Peruvian. This is why we're friends.
Yeah. It's
That's
one of 5 reasons.
what are the other 4?
You're funny, you're cool, you're hot, and we met each other. If we
Why
didn't meet
would
each
you
other,
be
we couldn't be
friends with me
friends.
just because I'm hot? Okay, that's very
It's
judgmental.
not just because it's only one of 5 reasons.
Okay, but it was one of the reasons.
It's one of them.
Okay, just getting that out of the way. It's on the table now. I'm hot. Okay. Um, I right back at you. By the way.
Thanks.
I am friends with you because we became friends like right before quarantine happened.
Yeah.
And that
literally.
was literally we were gonna
get coffee.
And then we didn't.
Yeah. And we may never will until there's a vaccine.
Well, we can,
We can Zoom coffee, but I did quit coffee, so we can maybe not get coffee, but we can have tea.
It's like a thing that was meant to be and never will be, or was never meant to be and can't ever happen. Us getting coffee together, because now you have coffee. I was like getting off of coffee, remember? And I was telling you about my getting off coffee adventures.
Yeah. And then you drank like 5 cups.
I drank, I don't know how many.
You told me 5, so I'm just quoting based on that.
I just invent numbers off the top of my head because I don't remember in numbers. I remember in feelings. So it felt like 5. I'm not making fun of you a little bit. It felt like 5.
I mean, you said that at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a very honest person. Try to be. Apparently it's not one of the 5 reasons we're friends then, so it's fine.
Well, I didn't know that. Like, you don't know if a person's honest until several months in, so.
That's a very good, it could maybe not even several months in. Like,
yeah, no, honestly, I would say 2 years for real.
Had someone lying, and some people are real, they've never been caught lying,
Yeah. I've experienced that in relationships.
Yeah, I've experienced relationships where it's easy to catch them lying, but he'll never cop to it. And it's like literally just doesn't have the emotional maturity to like cop to his own shit.
Well, that's gaslighting. Like, that's the definition of gaslighting, is they lie and then tell you you're crazy for calling them out on the lie.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's, it's gaslighting. It's what it is, which is my favorite term for abuse because it comes up a lot. Like, I got called delusional by my former housemate, and then she accused me of gaslighting her after she called me delusional.
Yeah,
And
you can totally gaslight someone by calling them gaslighting. That's like the ultimate gaslighting.
I think that that's the most typical form of gaslighting I've seen is being accused of gaslighting by someone who's calling me crazy.
Yeah, well, now that it's a popular term, because it like came into the popular lexicon over the past 5 years, even though the movie it came out of was from the 40s, like people have started using it more in the past 5 years in the mainstream.
So, as a psychology person,
A fast food server.
um, were you familiar with the term gaslighting before it became the popular lexicon of terminology?
Yes, because I used to have to explain it to people, and now I don't have to anymore, which is nice. Well, I still have to, but it's less. I have to less.
That's good. Um, congratulations on having to do less explaining.
Thanks.
Your work has paid off. I had a joke about
Constantly.
gaslighting too. I think it was just like a pun though, with like fuel, like something about electric lamps, you know? Or yeah, that was it. It was like I said is the oh, god damn it. But it's some sort of pun where then the guy is gaslighting and he goes, "No, it's electric. It's not a gas light."
That's, do you know, that's the original definition. The movie that it comes from, actually, I don't remember what it's called. I feel like it's called like Gaslight or
The
something like
gas
that.
lamp or something. The gas
But the way that the man gaslights the woman is that he's adjusting the gas lamps and then telling her that she's crazy about it when she notices.
right. And so that's where I was borrowing that
Oh, gotcha.
and it's from. Right. I heard about that. You know, the first thing I do when I learn something is I like Google it. And and then because like people will tell me something and I'll be like, that sounds fascinating. I don't believe a word you just said. I'm gonna go get Wikipedia's opinion, which is like a crowdsourced sort of consensus on what's actually going on. Like so yeah, the first thing, like when I first heard gaslighting, immediately looked it up and learned the origin of gaslighting and this movie, The Gaslight. Um, and yeah, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. I never know how to finish my sentences because I keep accidentally throwing out prepositions near the end, and I just need to really period that shit down. Part of it
Yeah.
is like I'm like, this is not a punchline. I need to keep talking until I say something funny.
Have you always been that way, or just since when you started comedy?
No, that's like how I'm broken. Is like,
How you're broken?
yeah, I'm broken in that way where the way I communicate is not healthy. It's like a comedian, like because it's not necessarily. I try not to be that way all the time, but like it's my coping mechanism is turning everything into a joke, and the coping mechanism is it's also like yeah. Uh, so
Well, I think, I mean, I don't believe in broken people in general, and also I think if you're using if you're using coping mechanisms, that is a clear sign that you're not broken. Like again, I don't really believe in broken people anyway, but if you're using coping mechanisms, you're not only not broken, but you're active in continuing your story as a whole person because you're committed to continuing to be the most you that you can be, even if that's not the kind of person that people who haven't had the same experiences as you, the kind of path that they would choose. But you're still like putting yourself out there and making connections in this other alternative way that's not how what you might call a whole person would choose, but it's not a brokenness.
okay, I see I can tell why you're a psychology major, or I can tell that you are a psychology major. Um,
French
I
fries.
I think, yeah, I guess I just don't always see it as healthy. Like, I feel like there are times when I should just be vulnerable
Yeah.
and not reaching for the defense of like making people laugh. And
Yeah.
for me, part of it is like I'm reaching for that as like a safety blanket. Like if I can just keep people laughing, I don't know, then I'll be safe or loved or whatever, which is like
Yeah.
silly that I have that inclination, but it's just like, or maybe I just want attention and I just feel like I just need what I say to have value, and if it's making people laugh, then it's valuable. I don't know. I have to psychoanalyze myself more in order to understand what. But I do know that I was a stand-up comedian before I was one. Just from everything I've learned about the the psychology of people who like go into stand-up comedy and just how they're wired different, I was like, okay, I fit into that already. I just needed to start doing it. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's totally valid. Like coping in that way is valid. And you say that it's like unhealthy, and it totally can be unhealthy, but I think anything can be unhealthy if it's the only thing you're using. Like any coping mechanism, if it's the only mechanism you're using, can become unhealthy. Just like anything, if that's all you're using and all you're doing over and over, it's going to be unhealthy. But what really turns it into the unhealthy thing is that it's all you're using and that it's preventing you from actually proceeding down the path that you want for yourself. So if the path that you want for yourself is to always keep people at a distance and you're happy that way and you kind of just want to like do your own thing and keep people at a distance, and so this is the mechanism you use to do that, then it's not necessarily unhealthy if that's what you want and you feel fulfilled. I think that kind of person is rare, but it's also possible. So it's a matter of like, sometimes I use this and, I let some people in and I don't let others in to protect myself. So it's all about how you use those coping mechanisms and whether you're able to put them down when you want to and form a valid, like real connection, or if you have to compulsively always use it, then that's where we get into like the unhealthy zone.
Okay. Cool.
And from what I know of you, I haven't seen that. Like you will put it down. You will put your walls down, and you also have a self-awareness about it. So you're able to say, "Oh, I recognize there that I put up a wall." Like you're talking about it right now. So that's where, to me, it looks more like you're kind of grappling. You're kind of grappling with that of figuring out what's actually right for you.
Yeah, you got me pegged again, Mrs. Zevallos, PhD.
Don't have a PhD.
You, that could be one of your wishes, and then I'll give you a PhD.
Oh, okay. That'll be a lot faster.
Yeah, it probably would be exceptionally fast, Uh, I don't know. It might take me a while to get it. I can't tell.
You're gonna be like,
Tried to do this for someone before, especially using magic. So, as far as I know, it's the same. You just make a pentagram and you put the 4 elements in there, and you wait.
and then you make it in Microsoft Word.
And then you wait. Yeah, and you make it in Microsoft Word, and you get a laminator.
Yeah.
And you can get into any building in America if you have a laminator and are willing to make yourself a laminate.
Yeah. Just wave it at them. I got a PhD. Slap it in the security guard's face.
But people were like making their own mask exemption cards, like anti-maskers.
I saw those.
Laminating their own thing that just says like, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Or you can call my lawyer about wearing a mask.
Yeah. Karen cards.
The Karen card. I should get one of those, but for real. Just pull it out. Whenever I'm like, don't get my way, I'll just be like, look, I don't mean to pull my Karen card out right now, but it's here. You know what you need to do. Okay, manager. All right. Manager.
Manager.
Show me the manager.
Manager.
Show me. Show me. Who's in charge here? It's the ultimate Karen. Who's in charge here? You know? Satan was a Karen. Satan was like, let me see the manager. You know? God was like, I am the manager.
Yeah.
That's how God sounds like Batman in this story.
Yeah. Christian Bale's Batman.
Ugh. Probably that one too, huh? Ew.
Yeah, well, because the 60s Batman, he was like, ooh, he sounded like Superman. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Paint your mustache.
Adam West, right?
Yeah, Adam West. He was great.
Yeah.
Totally different.
That's Batman. It was Adam West. That also has the best Joker, Caesar.
Yeah, he painted his mustache.
Yeah, Caesar Romero.
Yeah, he wouldn't even shave the mustache. He just painted it.
Yeah.
That's commitment to the self.
He was great. And then they had, Eartha Kitt as Catwoman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I've only seen one episode and one movie of the original Batman.
Gone downhill since Adam West, Eartha Kitt, and Caesar.
It really has. Don't get me started on what's his name in the 90s Tim Burton Batman movies. That's my least favorite Batman.
We're going to talk about that. Do you call them films, or what do you call them? Museum exhibits is really like, this is like really they should just be like 90s. Tim Burton his movies should be, they belong in a museum, as like this happened.
Belong in a museum.
This is part of our history. We can't deny it. We're not about to go make a statue of it though, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so those movies were awful.
I would say like the movies were not good, but the Batman himself was like the worst. Like he was bad.
Well, yeah, the villains were fine. All of the Jokers have been good, except Jared Leto was a bit of a Leto down, you know. But I think that was for multiple reasons. One is that he just didn't choose a very successful like the whole gangbanger Joker thing was just awkward.
I mean, that was on the director and the writer, but yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like it's not all on Jared Leto's fault. He's a terrific actor, but he they went a weird direction in that movie. So I think that's part of why that's like the worst Joker of all time.
Yes.
Which
definitely.
I feel bad for Leto. Maybe we'll come up with a worse Joker, you know, eventually. But sometimes things happen just so all of society can look at that and be like, okay, we know not to do that.
Yeah. Like what's happening right now. Hopefully. We can only hope.
I feel like it's easier with a movie than with like reality, because people keep like, well, granted, those same people who are probably refusing to wear masks, Jared Leto's probably their favorite Joker.
Yeah, exactly. He's inspired a lot of bad people, and that's the worst thing about him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe people don't wear masks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is what I think about. Like on my podcast, another episode, someone was asking me like, what's like the weirdest thing about this year, and I just told him like, you know, honestly, watching the excuses people come up with to not wear a mask, and just like the disinformation, just the fact that they think the vaccine is Bill Gates' secret microchip program to track you.
And they think it's like all a conspiracy, like a virus is a conspiracy. Like I can't even wrap my head around that. It's like it's a chaotic organism that we have no control over, but they think it's a human-based like government conspiracy.
And then my mom watches MSNBC and CNN, and she was saying she thought it was the Russians. And I was just like, why do we need people to to have manufactured a disease. They kind of happen. And if it wasn't, maybe this one was made in Wuhan laboratories. But if it wasn't this one, it would have just been another one. Like even if it's manufactured, like the way we responded to it was almost that's almost the conspiracy. Like is you could just wait for a disease and then just like have terrible leadership.
Yeah, because there have been documentaries since 2005 about the pandemic that we will be facing. Like scientists were like, we're going to have one. It's going to look like this. We need to prepare. And the things that they described are exactly, they were like, it's going to be respiratory. Like we know this is just like how the pattern goes. Like they knew what was coming. And we just didn't prepare because we were like, no, we're Americans.
Well, and we did prepare, and then Donald Trump cut the preparedness plan.
Yeah, he fired the whole team.
Models and all. They had models. They were gonna predict supply shortages, which would have been kind of nice if we could have done that a little bit. Yeah. My butt would be cleaner right now.
Donald Trump was personally had a hand in the cleanliness of your butt.
Donald Trump gave me a dirty butt. No one gives me a dirty butt.
Donald Trump gave me a dirty butt.
I don't let anybody give me a dirty butt.
That's a tongue twister.
I don't even let Poop Dick give me a dirty
See? It's hard.
A birdie duck.
Birdie duck. You don't want your ducks to get birdie.
Birdie duck.
Birdie duck.
Birdie duck. I'm Birdie Duck, attorney at law. Listen, if you've been hurt in an accident waiting to get your settlement, I'll tell you what. You come over to Birdie Duck. We've got you covered, all right?
Do you have a SoundCloud? Let's start our band.
You don't. Wait. Birdie. This is a different thing now. It's no longer a band. Now it's a attorney.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna make the band and you make the attorney.
Okay, you have fun with your band. Am I still in it?
Yeah, you're our attorney.
Can I be the front man?
You're the front man attorney.
So I get to sing.
Yeah, and you sing only legal speak.
Okay. Habeas corpus. Any excuse to be center stage. I want to do a band. I was trying to come up with band names with my friend. She plays bass. She came up with like Pussy
Riot.
Pussy Soldiers, Pussy Warriors. Not Pussy Riot. That one's taken.
I know.
But this is like Pussy Hero. That was it. Pussy Hero.
Pussy Hero. Cool. Like Guitar Hero, but pussy.
Yeah. So if you don't own a real pussy, you can just play Pussy Hero.
Nice.
On your Nintendo. Yeah.
It's like air guitar, but just smaller.
It's like air guitar, but you play it with your dick.
Oh. So I can't play. Can I use a dildo?
You don't have a... Yeah, I use a dildo. I don't use my own dick.
Oh, you get like a wireless dick.
You can, yeah.
And you're like, doo-doo-doo.
You can play it with your mouth too.
Oh, cool. Nice.
My eating pussy in my face.
Cunnilingus combo.
My cunnilingus. What did you say?
Cunnilingus combo.
The cunnilingus combo.
Yeah. I assume you get combos in guitar, yeah. I've only played twice.
Okay. I was, in my mind, you just ordered a dish at Olive Garden. So,
oh, yeah.
Cunnilingus combo.
No. That was more inspired by, what's the one? You know, the big one. The big fighter game that everyone plays. Mortal Kombat. They do, there's like an announcer that's like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that one. Finisher, you know what I mean.
Right, exactly. The finisher part comes up. Pussy Hero. And you gotta take all your fingers, do the shocker. How do you do is it like this? There it is. 3 in the pink.
A-A-B-B-A-A.
3 in the pink, 1 in the stink. His thumb. Just
Damn, 3.
3. What kind of pussy you got? Okay, first of all, these are slender fingers.
Shocker.
Oh, it's like that. Okay.
Well, that's the shocker. But you can do, you
So
can do 3, whatever.
on guitar, I use 3 because I have slender fingers. So yeah, on Guitar Hero, you gotta do the magic combo at the end there, where you just like going rapid fire and you're like
Yeah.
throwing your remote dildo.
I'm kind of into this. Like, I think it could be really useful to a lot of people who service women in a pleasure way to have a virtual game that really helps them with giving head.
Like a giving head practice.
Yeah. And like you gotta do it right or you won't finish her.
Like a training fleshlight.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If you get points for doing things on the controller that would coincide with pleasure in real life.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's different, so that is like a little complicated, but at least it would be better than what they see in porn.
I honestly kind of want this myself. I feel like it would help me train my brain.
Yeah.
Just because my brain has no training with cunnilingus. It's like, do you like this? Yeah. It's like so hard. So I would just love to like. I'm trained in cunnilingus.
Yeah. I'm level 56 in Cunnilingus Hero. Pussy Hero, sorry.
Pussy Hero.
Yeah.
You know, but I have completed the cunnilingus song in under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
To be able to
yeah.
bring you at least 2 orgasms in that amount of time, you know?
Yeah. At least
2, because you need to make the 2 in order. I mean, are you really gonna finish your woman with 1? Who wants just 1 pancake in the morning?
Yeah.
You need a stack. You gotta have a stack of orgasms if you're getting your pussy eaten out.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 is recommended. If you go up to 10, you get a medal.
Yeah. And a quiet 3 hours after that, because she'll be passed out.
Right. I don't know. I've never gotten to 10. That'd be a lot. I'd be very impressed with myself. Jesus Christ. 10 orgasms.
Are you
how tired your tongue would be?
Yeah. Are you gonna edit this down, or is this gonna be?
How long have we been going? For 2 hours?
Yeah, I think 2 hours. I do have to pee, so I'm gonna head out soon.
Okay. Well, give me your plugs. You do your Animal Crossing show.
Plugs. New Haha Horizons every second and fourth Saturday of the month. So the next show will be August 8th, Saturday. It should be at 6 p.m. We like to make them early so that comics can have other shows that don't involve video games after our show if they want to, even though our show is the best show. So that'll be on Stab Comedy.
Stab TV, okay.
And I also have my own podcast called Bring Your Own Popcorn that I very rarely record, but I am going to try to record an episode at some point. Before 2021.
Before 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the goal.
Awesome. And what about, you got like an Instagram handle?
Yeah, Mixtape Majesty. If you want to follow me on Insta.
What do you want people to follow you on? Insta. Okay, cool. That's all. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been Heather Rogue. I am sorry that you're still awake because it means that you now have to find another podcast to watch.